Yo, so this is episode. Is this 20? Man,
I guess the big 2-0, yeah.
damn. It's unfortunate the link isn't here, man. Like the big two
It
zero
is
needed
unfortunate.
the big 2-0 actually kind of needed him, but
We could get him for the big 2-5
we'll
next
get him
good
for the
number
big
right
two
there.
five. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
dude. These have gotten. Dude, it's kind of like I love like how these are coming out like in like much bigger volume ever since football season started. I mean, it's intentional. It's by
I know.
design, but still, like.
Yeah, because sports is like just unbelievably boring without football. Let's be honest, right now, especially now. I mean, we didn't have football, we'd be screwed.
Would be cooked.
Otherwise, I'd just be here for 40 minutes ranting about the Bulls, and no one wants to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, we did a cool episode where we talked about the Bulls for a long time, but that was different. That was like a whole off season like look at, and that was cool. We had Ross. That was dope. Like,
Yeah, man, that was all that, man. Good times. That was just a good day. That was just a good night to be popping off.
yeah.
What we did.
Anyways, I guess let's get started with more football. Um, so we
Hmm.
talked about we talked about Cowboys Saints in the last episode. But we'll talk about the Thursday night game that happened this week in this one. However, before that, we need to talk about what happened last week and kind of what the big effects were. So let's start with an old fan favorite, not too old, but a fan favorite of the game, Gardner Minshew. Minshew mania was, at least for last week, it was back. Um,
Yeah, it went off.
he was absolutely dominant, and Zach Wilson, he gave him a good game. I mean, not as much so in the second half, but Zach Wilson did keep the Jets in the game for a good half. Um, Minshew played extremely well in a very big bounce back win for Philadelphia.
Yeah, they
Um,
really needed it. Really, really, really needed it.
and I just gotta say, look, I hate the Eagles, but like Minshew's a guy. Like as much as I think I genuinely think he might be the best quarterback on that team, and I, but if they want to stick with Jalen Hurts, I'm okay with it because I don't like the Eagles.
And I did a lot of crow because all the shit I talked about Hurts last year and what he's done so far this year. And I still think I don't know, for a team in their spot, he's not the worst guy in the world. I think it could be a lot worse for him. I'm not ready to say that Minshew's better than Hurts because I mean, I don't know. Minshew's just for me, he's just like a solidly mediocre quarterback. And that's pretty. I mean, but he's obviously got these flashes, so it's obviously a bit of a competition, especially when Hurts has been kind of struggling lately. I'm
Yeah,
not quite there yet. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of it's a fun situation to watch. I guess it's
yeah.
like when Wentz went out, Foles walks in, Foles kicks ass, and you're like, I'm not ready to. I would be ready to say Foles taking over for Wentz, but I'm just
Yeah,
let's. I'm just let's
to
watch
be
this unfold.
fair,
Let's
to be
just
fair, yeah,
let's
we'll
watch
watch
it
it
over a little
unfold. But
bit.
to be fair, when Foles took over
Yeah,
because of the
yeah, the
injuries,
gap is way bigger.
yeah. But I guess the point is, it's not like I hate Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good dude. He's a good. I mean, I think he's a solid-ish.
I understand why you're pessimistic. Why you'd be pessimistic on him though.
Yeah,
With
I have
relation to
my
Mitchell.
issues with his
I'm not saying
game,
it's unwarranted on just side.
but yeah, like I'll let it play out. I'm not gonna advocate for one or the other because I'm not an Eagles fan. I hate the Eagles. I hope they make the wrong decision. Whoever they spurn has a great career elsewhere. But like I just want to say, dude, I saw a thing with his dad after the game. That looked really cool. But um, I have to say, great game by them, especially like Gardner Minshew looked awesome. Dallas Goddard, I believe, played very well. Kenneth
Yeah, it
Gainwell,
was
I
really
think
good.
Kenneth Gainwell had a good game. It was kind of cool to see the rookie out of Memphis duo. Memphis is really good with their running backs, man, and they're all in the NFC East too. Um,
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
because it's
It's pretty
Antonio
wild.
Gibson, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Gainwell.
They got a lab set up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the Jets, Zach Wilson, he was the first Pepsi Rookie of the Week, not named Micah Parsons in like more than a month, I think. So that's
Oh my
it's
goodness.
cool for him. Yeah. Um, but anyways, I mean that was a cool game.
It was fun to watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like, I mean, that matchup could have been a lot worse.
I'm pretty sure the first half, every drive ended with offensive points. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, yeah, it definitely did kind of simmer down towards the end there, but I mean, it's still overall really fun to watch. But yeah, that first half was electric.
Anyways, let's like talk about another just insanely, and I mean like insanely, I guess you could say a magical game. One that I think, the like Gardner Minshew is the people's champ. There's a certain head coach, Dan Campbell, who takes that moniker as well, and he finally has a victory. Um,
Thank goodness.
yeah, I think you like the Steven, you absolutely like it much better that it came here than it did on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, at this point, any loss the Bears get is one step closer to Matt Nagy's eventual unemployment. So I wouldn't have been too upset, but I would have probably rather seen it against the Vikings than the Bears.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm chilling.
but
We're chilling.
anyways,
We're good.
dude, that was a crazy game. The Lions took the lead early. They were dominating. The Vikings stormed back, took the lead, and then Jared Goff, of all people, because Jared Goff is always prone to being good in some very crazy moments. That was what I was thinking at the start of the season. They're going to win a game or two just because Jared Goff is going to just do something crazy good for a game or two.
Yeah,
And that's what he did. He led him down the field and got a touchdown to Noah St. Brown to walk off and win the game and get Dan Campbell his first victory. And I mean, that was a pretty emotional one. The Wolverines won the Big Ten championship as well. We don't really talk about college as much though, but um, with the Lions winning, they dedicated the game ball to like the Oxford school. I mean, it was pretty emotional, but
yeah. It was
may
good for them. I see.
those people who passed away. I mean, may they rest in peace. It's just pretty sad, but
Yeah,
um, for on the football side of things, though, you see a guy like Dan Campbell, and he was the one that did the dedication. I mean, the dude looks like he's an amazing dude just from the scenes that you could tell his players want to run through walls. They jump off bridges for him. They go to war for him, and that's like a coach that you want. Um, seems
exactly.
just seems like
If you have
everyone.
the locker room, you're going places. I mean, just that's the benchmark right there.
Yeah,
And I mean, even ignoring the fact that he's going to be a very good head coach if the Lions somehow manage to screw up into giving him talent.
yeah, and I think I like him a lot, and I really hope that one day there's a day that he'll be that head coach that leads Detroit into meaningful January football. Um, but
I mean, hey, I'll toast to that, and I'm a Bears fan. I mean,
yeah,
I gotta respect Dan like that.
yeah, you'll just
I
respect
mean,
them as
most
a
of that,
while.
admittedly, most of that's from you, Salt. I'm gonna be honest, because you kind of turned me.
You gotta
But
you respect them as like let us have the division. You have the wild card. That's the ideal world.
mm, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but hey,
I'll
better
do that.
better
I
than
will gladly do
competing
that.
with Green Bay.
Oh, much better than competing with Green Bay, man. Lions fans are at least 10 years behind the curve,
Yeah.
so
Um.
it's fine.
Yeah, and I guess another big one. Just going through. So I'll let you kind of talk about what happened with the Bears. I know it wasn't a pretty game. Andy Dalton was still in, I believe. I know Fields is coming back.
It could have been a lot worse though. I was like, I mean, it was rough, but like, I was literally expecting the Cardinals to like be like, I was expecting another Bucks game out of this, and like it started off kind of like that, but I mean, they got, I mean, the fact that they got over 20 points, and again, Cardinals. I don't know. It still feels weird to me that they're a 10-2 team because I really don't feel like they're a 10-2 team, but with with all their firepower, I mean, just getting the deficit only to 11, especially with Dalton throwing 4 picks. I mean, that was just pretty good. And of course, a lot of that is due to the run game. David Montgomery. Oh my god, man, dude, it's gonna take. Dude, David Montgomery's gonna get washed so fast because the Bears are just gonna use him so poorly. He's like so good.
Yeah, and they have
Like
Khalil
if they
Herbert
had
to
a
give him time, like to give him breathers too.
dude, no, they have Khalil Herbert. They had Damian Williams, who was also really good. They can find really good running backs and get a really good committee going in there. But when Montgomery's like really like their only guy who's going off, I mean, like he had the second most receiving yards too. So we also like there's also that, of course. Now you're neglecting to mention that, but he led the rushing game by million carries. But I mean, I mean, we just gotta protect him at all costs. I guess just can't hope.
Yeah,
You just gotta hope that he maintains this level of production because boy, you give him the right coach, that's gonna be special to watch. But I mean, I don't know. It was like a productive offensive game. Honestly, that's all you could ask for out of the card. I wasn't expecting us to win. I was expecting us to lose by like 25 points at least, and they only lost by 11, and they got some. They got some score. They got some scores. So I mean, I can't really complain too much. And of course, Cardinals, did their usual offensively. Even if Kyler was a little bit, the passing game was a little bit not there,
at this
but
point,
rushing game, of course, was was
at,
uh
at
was
this
was quite
point,
solid.
at this point, are you done with Allen Robinson? You're like, just go, please.
Oh my god, no, dude, I like it. No, it's been dude, he's been phoning it in for Green Bay for like 3 years at this point. Like it has been so obvious that after his contract with the Bears, he's going to go to the Packers. Like it is like not even funny.
You know
Like
what?
I'm like
This is
literally
you know how
expecting
you can get your revenge.
get my guy Devontae Adams.
Yeah, get
Hashtag
to,
you are a bear. It
yeah,
is happening. It is happening. It is happening. We'll push that agenda more in the off season. But dude, he's throwing it in so hard, and like it's like not even funny anymore. Like I'm gonna be honest too. He's gonna be so good for them because all he's gonna need is like the right coach, the right system to like coax him back into being elite again. Just
yeah,
just just one push in the right direction, and it won't. I know it's not gonna take much, especially with Green Bay. It's barely gonna take anything. With the Bears, it's like solving a theorem or something.
yeah. All right,
But I mean, it's
yeah.
it's
You know, we're
it's
we're
it's gonna it's
we're
gonna
gonna have
happen.
to
We're expecting it.
partition the Packers this offseason. You take Adams, we'll take Jair, and then we'll give Link Aaron Rodgers.
Sure. That sounds like a plan. I
Um,
mean, as long as Rodgers is gone, they can take Allen Robinson. I don't care. As long as he's gone, I will watch him flex on the Bears because you already know that guy is going to be insufferable when he comes back to Soldier Field. But
oh yeah,
I don't care as long as Aaron Rodgers isn't throwing to him. Then again, if Jordan Love's throwing to him, he's probably not going to be throwing at him. So we'll see how that
yeah.
unfolds.
Um. Anyways, I guess some more important games. The Chargers and the Bengals. That was a very high stakes one in the AFC wildcard race.
Hmm.
Also somewhat big in their division races with keeping pace with the Chiefs and the Ravens. I believe if the Bengals won, they would have been able to take first. Well, no, if the Bengals won, they would have been able to take first. What happened later with the Ravens, but the Chargers came out on top, and which is really a game of domination disguised as a closer game. The Chargers scored
Mm.
24 unanswered. The Bengals got 22 unanswered, and then the Chargers put up um, 17 more unanswered to win the game. A lot of it was driven by turnovers. A lot of turnover points. Didn't see a lot of short fields in this game that gave them points. Lots of fumbles. Not as much interceptions. There were, but it was really the fumbles that were big. And when both teams had their opportunities off those turnovers, they made other teams pay. They made the other team pay. So, I mean, I would say it was a very interesting contest. Um,
Yeah, I gotta ask, man. What happened to Jamar Chase, dude?
yeah, I noticed ever since the Ravens game, he's been a lot more quiet, and there's a few things. I mean, he's been doubled more. T. Higgins
Hmm.
has played significantly better, so obviously some target share is going to go to his way. But yeah, honestly, Jamar Chase was the star of the show early, but it's T. Higgins that's really the big one for since he has of late. He's been really good.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I mean, their wide receiver course, but I mean, I guess, I mean, I think you could chalk most of it up to like The fact that people just, I mean, I don't want to say they overhyped him because he is really damn good and he was playing really damn
He
good in
has
the
the
NFL.
talent
But,
to be the best in the league.
obviously, rookie.
But
Yeah,
like,
obviously, when a rookie's going to struggle, it's going to be like, oh man, what happened to him? I mean, I don't, I mean, I literally just said it. So, I mean, I understand what it entails and stuff. But as long as they're able to adjust and they're adjusting, and T Higgins is going off, and he obviously too. Everyone knows the guy's special.
all right,
But
yeah,
they're as long as they're adjusting and maintaining pace. And I mean, they're still 7-5, and they're probably going to finish the season with a winning record. So all you could really ask for at that point.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, just very big one. I think the Chargers may have needed this a bit more than the Bengals. Not saying that the Bengals didn't need this, but I think the Chargers are like, I think record wise they were a little worse, which is kind of.
Yeah,
I think they would have been at 500 if they lost. Both teams needed this
yeah, I
significantly,
think
though. I
so.
believe this had like an importance rating. If you know, like 538, I think they gave like a 98 importance rating. It was that like high stakes.
Oh damn.
And the Chargers went on the
Yeah.
road, and like they do on the road, they play better on the road, and they go out and they win.
Well, they're always playing on the road technically, but
Yeah, but like I don't know what
we're
it
not
is,
there.
but they take them outside of Los Angeles, and they're another animal.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
The AFC teams, I think, would rather the Chargers be in SoFi and then the Chiefs outside of Arrowhead. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. I mean, I can't really relate to it, but I can't disagree with it.
yeah. That's the luxury of us being in the NFC. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we have
that's
to
the
deal
luxury of my
we have
division
to
being
deal with
terrible.
Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers
I'm
and
good,
and
man.
and
And
now
I'll
and
face
now
Aaron
Kyler
Rodgers two
Murray
times a year so I can play in the NFC North.
and Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad.
Hey, but at least my team has one of the big guys in the NFC. Yay. And hopefully yours will
And yeah,
soon.
at
I'm
least
rooting
at
for
least
yours.
my team could have the one of the big guys in the NFC.
Hey, I believe
So
I believe in
progress.
Fields. I believe in Fields, man.
We all believe in Fields. We're just waiting to see who they're gonna hire for head coach and um if
Yeah.
they're gonna make him good or the more likely circumstance when they hire some guys who just run the Matt Nagy offense again. But
Yeah.
get the locker room back for a little bit.
Anyways,
Anyway, I don't want to ramble too much on. Yeah, I don't want to go on
yeah,
too much about the
let's keep
Bears
going.
because I feel like I got to. We could get lost in this forever.
All right,
Um.
Ravens Steelers. That's the first of the 2 day
Uh.
afternoon ones. I did not watch this much because I was watching the other one. But from
Mhm.
what I could tell, very eventful in the fourth quarter. Not much before it, defensive battle, but the Ravens were in the lead. Um, then the offenses started playing better. The Ravens went up, but then Big Ben led them to a comeback win, took the lead in a drive by 7, and then the Ravens, Lamar, he took him down the field, got a touchdown, and because Marlon Humphrey, who's now out for the year, got hurt in the game, and they're short on corners, Harbaugh decided it would be best for the Ravens to end the game there, and it was a good effort by Lamar. I mean, TJ was pressuring him, but couldn't get it perfect. Andrews couldn't haul it in, and
Mhm.
because of that drop, the Steelers defeated the Ravens. Lamar Jackson really hasn't been playing up to the MVP caliber performances we know he has in him lately. Uh, Steelers came out with an extremely crucial victory to stay alive. Especially, I think this was the first game after the leaks that Ben is currently considering retirement. So very big one. What do you think about the decision to go for 2 there? Just play to
I
win.
mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say, really. I mean, gosh, because I don't know. In a situation like that, you just could really see it both ways. It's just so hard to criticize it for not working out.
Yeah,
When
like
like you obviously could have gone, guy obviously could have just gone for the tie and gone to OT. But I
yeah,
mean, I don't know. I mean, they're such a well coached team. I mean, I totally understand the confidence in going for it and just stealing the deal right then and there. Especially in a slow momentum game like that, when you get points, like you really, really go at, like you protect those points with your life,
yeah.
and you really go after it.
I
So, I
I
mean, and
understand.
trust me, I've watched enough of these games as a Bears fan over the last 3 years to understand that mentality better than anyone else. So I totally get it. And then from a coaching perspective too, Harbaugh is like the biggest reason this team is as good as they are.
Yeah,
Um, Going for it there is just I don't know. I don't want to criticize him for it. Obviously, it's really sour that it didn't work out, but I don't know. I think if you're gonna really, I think that I think if you're really gonna hate it, you're just kind of looking for something to blame there.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of rambling on a little bit, but
But yeah, um, I think with Harbaugh, I mean, like at first it baffled me. Look, you have Justin Tucker. There's like no way that you're not getting the point, and yeah,
mhm.
but I understand that because Humphrey is down and your corner room is shaken up, and that you just can't trust. You just don't feel like you can trust them to stand firm, or you just don't believe you believe that going to overtime and risking further injuries is even more detrimental than just you know uh just ending it here now in regulation with with the belief that you'll win it. I understand that they may not, but when you're beaten that badly, and I understand with that context in mind that Harbaugh presented us after, like at the time I was like, whoa, but now I get it. Yeah, I understand why the Ravens did it. It's perfectly reasonable. Um,
Yeah.
but
I don't know if that's like risking further. I just want to add something. I don't know if it's like risking further injury exactly because I mean, they're playing the whole game without the cleats. I just think that like at that point the points just become so much more valuable. Like when it's a slow momentum game like that, when you have a fourth quarter where you're like really getting a lot of that back.
yeah,
It's it I don't know. It's just when you're playing 48 minutes of football and you have 19 points at the final seconds with an opportunity to win or tie. I mean the win feels a lot more appealing in that kind of
I
context
can
for me at
understand.
least. I mean I know obviously risking further injury, obviously risking overtime play with that secondary. I totally understand all that, but for me it's I don't know. It's just the points factor just really stood out to me.
Fair enough. Another big game on the afternoon. This is the big one on the West Coast. Seahawks Niners, and a lot of Seahawks Niners shenanigans, fumbles and interceptions galore. And I'll just say, man, the depleted Niners offense without Debo Samuel just isn't there. I mean, they got short fields a lot of the time. Weren't able to do much with it. I mean, their defense went crazy. There was this one drive where I think Jimmy Garoppolo threw an awful interception and like put Seattle in like almost the red zone, and the Niners defense imposed their will so much that it forced them to punt. I think it was like the second, it's like a strip sack, well, and it fumbled, and the Seahawks recovered, but they were backed up to like second and 34 or something.
Oh my god, that's heinous.
The Niners
Like,
defense played well.
how's that
Like,
happen? Yeah.
yeah, Nick Bosa was great. I mean, they had that linebacker, not Warner, I forget his name. He was playing amazingly well, and the Niners offense was good in the first half. It rolled, it worked. And it kind of just went bad. Jimmy Garoppolo threw a lot of bad picks.
Hmm.
And you got to question, what Jimmy isn't playing like he was in November, but look, overall in the season, he hasn't been playing that great. At what point do you say it's time for Trey? Because I think there's a point where you have to admit
Yeah.
it, and doesn't seem like they've
They're just in such a weird spot. That's like I don't know. I'll let you finish your point, but
yeah.
it's just so weird with
I
them.
think at this point you have to put Trey Lance in. I understand maybe you
Hmm.
want to wait it out a little bit. Maybe you want to get Debo Samuel back in the fold before you put Trey Lance in, just to help him out. Sure. But, there's a point where you got to say, look, Jimmy ain't going to be cutting it. But I think for me, it was very weird the Niners offense just shut down in the second half. The Seahawks were able to get ahead just enough. And oh my god, the Seahawks nearly won, like sealed it off. And then the Niners got a big interception on like the 4 yard line. I think it was going into the end zone, but um, it did not happen. Anyways, the Niners went. They drove down to tie it. I think maybe go for the win. I'm not sure, but they were trying to get a touchdown
Mhm.
to it was a one score game at that point. I don't remember what the exact
Yeah,
score
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was the final
Was it
score.
38-23?
Yeah,
Yeah,
38-20. So that was the final score. Whatever the
yeah,
final score was what they were trying to accomplish. 23-30. 7 point game, right?
hmm
Um,
yeah,
so and they got all the way down and stalled out and fourth down play broken up. Um, and the Seahawks would win. Very, very disheartening loss for the Niners, who really could have put in a grip on a wild card spot and the 6th seed. Now they're down to the 7. Uh, very weird NFC wild card race where we could see an 8 and 9 team potentially get in. Still a good chance that the 7 seed could be 9 and 8. We'll see what happens, but they have a big
hmm
game against the Bengals next week. Very big for both teams. I guess moving
yeah.
on, the last one of this week before
Well,
we.
I mean, I kind of want to touch on the Niners a little bit because I just wanted to elaborate on my point because like you're talking about before with Jimmy G, and I mean I don't the Jimmy G's not the answer thing. I mean that's like I mean I've been thinking that for like 2 years at this point. Honestly, like even a Super Bowl season, like that team was just so special that like it was almost obvious they were going to go to the Super Bowl. And I
Yeah,
mean, Jimmy was good that year. Like he was like definitely good enough to win a Super Bowl for sure. But now, like franchise alter, like you put him on a team that's like mediocre with a mid quarterback, and they're going and they're making a playoff run. Like that's not that good. I guess that's a very specific example, but then they're just caught in this weird situation where they got Trey Lance who's got so much talent. They got Garoppolo, who's like just okay, I guess, maybe mediocre. I don't know. He's like somewhere on that range. And they're just trying to balance these two guys while trying to contend for a playoff spot with a core that's really good. Like they have so many moving parts. Like it's like enough to make your minds like enough to make your head spin. And I don't know. They just got all these pieces going, and and like you said, they've had some really bad luck, obviously with Debo being out, and I
it
it's just
baffles
weird to
me
watch.
that
I don't know. It's just kind of scratched my head. I
it
don't know.
baffles me how they're 6-6 at this point. It's crazy, but
You think they should be worse or better?
better. I think they should absolutely
Yeah,
be better.
yeah. No, with their talent for sure. It's just they've played so many poor games. It's so weird.
Some very close ones too. But
Yeah, for sure.
next one, Monday Night Football. The Bills and the Patriots. Crazy game. Mac Jones threw 3 times the whole game. 2 for 3 for 12 yards. Um, the Patriots just ran the ball in some crazy weather. Just didn't trust it to throw. Bills actually threw the football. I mean that's their thing after all. Um,
hmm
and it was a low scoring, and I had a feeling it would be low scoring, but maybe not quite as low. I was thinking maybe the winning team can put up 20, like 14 to I think it was 10, and I mean some really big runs for New England were ultimately why they were able to win rather than actually like true ball control possession. The Bills defense played well in that regard. Um,
It's pretty insane how they just literally beat the Bulls with 19 passing. Like I still can't believe that.
And I think, the big thing for Buffalo, I mean, some just very unfortunate breaks cost them. They went down the field once in the fourth quarter. Tyler Bass missed a field goal that would have made a subsequent field goal the winner, and instead Buffalo went for it on fourth without favorable close to the distance position. Uh, and didn't get it. Some a couple bad breaks there. Dawson Knox not holding in the football on the third down, which would have been a touchdown, and then on fourth, Allen went to Gabriel Davis instead of Cole Beasley, and Beasley was wide open, and bit of a miss there. I mean, I can understand maybe why he wanted to test Davis, but Beasley to me was certainly looks like a better option to go to. Um, and because of that, the Patriots came out with a crucial victory, and we went from in a couple of months a matter of are the Bills' season is a failure if they don't win the AFC to are the Bills even going to make the postseason in the AFC because they have a couple tough games coming up against Tampa and uh, New England again. And the worst case scenario, they can only be a game over 500 at the end of those two. Some easy games to close the stretch, but even if they win those out, if they lose those two, there's a genuine chance that their fate will be decided by the tiebreaker system at 10-7. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely gonna make the. You know what, I'm gonna save the dabble talk for the off season, but it's pretty. I mean, the Bills like another team. Like we just go jumping off the Niners. Like another. Like I mean, it's just another team who you have no idea how they're just playing like
and
this
it's
right
even
now.
more
Especially
egregious
watching them
too.
last year.
I would say, yeah.
Like we know McDermott's a good coach. Like I mean, even like Kyle Shanahan has his doubters, but like McDermott's like everyone knows how good of a strategist he is. I mean, it's so odd having to just watch them just struggle like this.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Brian Dabble. He's not it. I think, in my opinion.
I I completely agree. We could say it for the offseason, of course, but
Yeah.
my goodness, it's rough out there.
But I mean, ultimately, for the Bills, they need to wake up and they need to win this next game against Tampa. Um, but we'll see what happens in Buffalo. But I would say they're even more egregious than the Niners because the Niners have their injuries and their depth issues, and yeah, the Bills lost Trey White, but considering that how many times they ran the football, I'm not sure. Trey White probably isn't going to be like necessarily the savior in this particular game.
Hmm.
Losing him sucks anyways. I'm not like trying to downplay it. But for future games, that's what you would love to have Trey White in for the Tampa game when they have that loaded receiver group. Yeah, Antonio Brown isn't playing, but you would want him to take away one of Evans or Godwin for sure. But
Yeah, for sure.
it's to me the Bills. There's just so many questions that need to be answered. We got to see how they'll respond, how they'll do. But they had that super egregious loss to Jacksonville, and it's just their offense sometimes just completely shuts off. And
Yeah,
we know they have the talent, and so there's their offensive line which needs help, and there's also Brian Dabble who's just he's not I don't think he's it. We talked about that, and they definitely need a better running game as well. So they not put everything on Josh Allen, but I guess we can move on. To the last Thursday night
sure.
game between the Vikings and the Steelers, and this looks like a blowout for a while. Uh, Minnesota
Yeah,
dominated the first half, but Pittsburgh came back in the second to almost tie it. I mean, a lot was going right for Minnesota early with Dalvin Cook. Jefferson was playing well, and then later in the second half, Jefferson.
that's some really good stops too. Like they really ran circles around the Steelers
Oh my
offense
God, they got to
in that
Ben
first
so
quarter.
many times.
Oh,
Um,
it was not even funny.
But in the second half, I mean Jefferson, he was dropping the ball a lot on third down. There was one that was like, yeah, Kirk, you no excuses for that throw. But other than that, like there were absolutely moments where he should have held it in, didn't, and that enabled Pittsburgh to go and drive down the field. Of course, the
Hmm.
big stories of the game were the final drive, Chase Claypool celebrating and wasting clock on their last drive, which probably took away another shot at the end zone. And the final play of the game, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Dropped a very good pass into Frymouth's hands, but a great play by Harrison Smith to jar it loose and save the game for Minnesota, in which would have been a humiliating meltdown on prime time.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But that was a very entertaining game at the end. Uh, I had
It
Firemuth
was,
in
yeah,
fantasy,
definitely,
so
definitely a
I
lot of
kind
fun.
of raged seeing that ending, even though I'd rather Minnesota win. But
I'm not gonna lie, just watching the Steelers, it's like unbelievable how they have 6 wins.
yeah, it's insane. They
Like,
have like a
it,
few players that are carrying that team, like Watt, Hayward, Johnson. Firemuth has been pretty good too, and even in some games he's super inconsistent. Some games he'll look super washed. Other games, like this one in the fourth quarter, Roethlisberger, he'll look good in some moments. He has those his flashes. Um,
exactly.
I wouldn't say at this point this is a guy. Roethlisberger's a guy I would want starting on my team. Not at all, but I mean I understand why Pittsburgh would specifically. But there's a lot of
Yeah,
questions going around in their organization. We talk about Brian Dabble. I just don't know how to pronounce it. But there's a lot of questions about their coordinators, like Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, and just how Tomlin has seemingly. He seems like I like him as a head coach, but yeah, he definitely doesn't do a good job with his coordinator hires, and it shows, especially in the running of the
yeah,
offense. But
yeah. It just seems really really mediocre for a team that's just doing. And I mean, obviously, no disrespect to Tomlin because he has he has woven gold out of this team the last few years. But it's odd watching. It really feels like that some of their plays are just like so dumb. I don't know.
yeah,
It's just maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it's odd. It's intriguing, but I don't know.
yeah,
It's they're the fact that they're in it. I mean, and they're in it. So
yeah.
you know,
So I guess it's prediction time. Uh, all right.
nice.
Saints versus Jets. Who are we taking?
Mm,
This is
oh,
hard.
this is actually kind of a tough one. Yeah. Who's at home for this one?
The Jets.
Uh,
I'm gonna take the
damn.
Saints.
I'll take the Saints too. It's a pessimistic pick.
Yeah, I'm just
This one
thinking.
is gonna be like low scoring, and it's
Yeah,
just gonna be hard to watch.
Falcons versus Panthers in Carolina. I think the Panthers will win.
Yeah, I'd probably go Panthers, but I mean, I don't know. Falcons have gotten so many Mickey Mouse dubs, so that like they get another one. Carolina wouldn't surprise me.
Seahawks at Texans. Seattle.
So yeah, Seattle.
Raiders at Chiefs. Kansas City.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going Chiefs, even with all their struggles.
Ravens at
Raiders have gone through hell this year.
Ravens at Browns.
Ravens.
Give me Cleveland splitting. I don't know why. I just feel like Cleveland's gonna find a way to split. Uh,
I respect that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. It's
they're
just
at
it feels
home.
like Cleveland's gonna. Yeah, it feels like Cleveland's kind of picking up the pieces here, and Baltimore is a little bit, but I mean they still got some momentum on their side, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
And it's looked ugly for both teams, especially when they played each other last time. But I feel like they both have some big injuries, but for some reason I feel like maybe like Miles Garrett just has like a master class or something, and you know,
No, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Cowboys at football team.
I'm going with them boys.
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas here.
I'm not sure
Jack.
I picked against Dallas once thus far. I'm gonna be
No,
honest.
Tampa. No, you definitely picked against Dallas when they played Tampa.
Oh yeah, I probably picked them. Yeah, I probably picked against the Tampa game, but that's it.
Jags at Titans. I'm going with Tennessee.
Yeah, same.
Lions at Broncos. I think Denver will win.
Uh, I would. Yeah, I agree with that.
Giants at Chargers. Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, the easy one there.
Niners at Bengals. Ooh, that's
I'll go
interesting.
Bengals.
I'm gonna go with the
But yeah,
Bengals
that's
here.
kind of a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not. It's gonna be. It feels like that's gonna be
Bills
one that'll
at
be close.
Bucks.
Bucks.
I'm gonna go with a spoiler here. I'm gonna say Buffalo is gonna like somehow find a way. I don't know. This is a spoiler. I truly don't believe it, but I just want to put a spoiler pick out there this week, and this just feels like a perfect one to just throw for no reason.
And you know what? Power to you, man.
Bears at Packers.
That's gonna be Green Bay by a million.
Yeah. Well, let's pretend we predicted the Bears. You know.
Best we're hoping for is Robert Quinn stepping on Rodgers' toe on primetime.
and then
Stepping on the COVID toe.
and then Rams at Cardinals.
Ooh, that's a good one. Damn. Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What are you going with this, Saul? I might have to piggyback off you because I'm honestly so torn. Because in
Um,
Arizona too, which is like even makes it even more.
the Cardinals dominated them in LA. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I think they're gonna take it. The Rams have struggled lately, especially against like really good teams. So yeah, the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
yeah, I'll go with them too.
All right. I guess that's football. So let's talk about some of the basketball and the hockey. We'll start with just
Sounds
a
good.
quick shout
And
out. Marc-Andre Fleury, win number 500. Um,
our guy, let's go.
yeah, definitely. The new Blackhawks goalie got number 500 in Montreal. Of course, I think that's where he's from. I believe Quebec. So pretty big for him to win it there. Shutout win too. 2-0 the final score. Um, Very happy for Fleury to get win number 500. Um, so that was a quick shout out. I guess in other
Hmm.
NHL news, the Metro Division has been crazy. The Rangers are on top right now, but the Capitals, the Hurricanes, the Penguins, they've all been pretty good. Jackets surprisingly outperforming expectations. Devils showing some signs of improvement, but let's talk about the big disappointment of the division real quickly. The Islanders, who have played a lot of games at their new stadium and have got to win one. Lots of COVID problems, but with the way they're going and the losing streak, it just seems like that the postseason has gone from a reasonable expectation to a long shot extremely quickly, and
Yeah,
their chances have just faded. Team has struggled to score, that's for sure. Um,
yeah. I mean, I cannot believe they're like I cannot believe they've lost 16 games.
yeah, and I guess this is somewhat of a good time to transition, to the NBA. The Bulls, they've had some COVID issues of their own. DeMar DeRozan, I
Oh boy.
believe, was out, and it's just not been good.
Yeah, it started with Kobe, moved to Javante Green, then it was DeRozan. Caruso got injured on the side, and then
Yeah, we
then
got
moved to
the. I
Derrick
think
Jones
we got the
Jr. I'm definitely
hardship.
forgetting someone else. I
I think we
think,
got the hardship exemption and signed
and
a
Matt
player
Thomas.
here,
We
and
got like two hearts. We got like two
yeah,
hardship
because
exemptions.
someone else got COVID after we got
Yeah,
the
no,
first one, so we
it was
got the
like
second one.
Matt Thomas. Yeah, Matt Thomas was the first one. Then they signed Stanley Johnson, and then I think the next one was Derrick Jones Jr., who has been who's been exceeding expectations, no doubt about it, for the Bulls this year. And I think they signed him. They signed Stanley Johnson. I forgot who else they signed. It was
Man,
like
I'm just
McKinsey. I
really
think I
hoping.
don't know his full name,
I'm really hoping
but he's like a
no one.
hometown kid. So
I'm really hoping this doesn't affect anyone's play in the long run or like their stamina or their health or anything, because that's just scaring me. Like,
yeah, I'm not too concerned. The Bulls have got a good cushion. I mean, the East is strong this year, but they did really well beforehand, and they're going against the Heat. But the Heat have Butler, Bam, and Morris out, and Duncan Robinson is doubtful. So it's going to
Yeah,
be like the injury bowl of the millennium in Miami there. So hopefully they can scratch out a Mickey Mouse win there, and we'll see. We'll fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed.
yeah. Um,
But
on the
yeah,
other hand,
it's been a struggle.
more basketball stuff. Zion Williamson, man, oh boy,
Oh
the
my
team is
god! Wait, was that
starting to.
picture photoshopped or was it real?
I think it was real, but like I think it's like the James Harden thing, where just he looks completely like he shapeshifts, man. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
There were rumors that he was like 330, and then you see this other picture of him, and he looks perfectly in shape. It's crazy how like I don't know what's going on with Zion. I think he might be on his way out of New Orleans, possibly.
I
So,
don't know. That's gonna be on him. New Orleans is gonna be so patient. They're way too bad right now to be like be on the edge with Zion or be like losing patience with him. It's
oh, I
gonna be him
agree,
losing
but I
patience
think
with
it
them.
might be more Zion might want to get out of there rather than
Yeah, exactly.
Um, But
So we'll
yeah,
see. I mean, the guy's size is the biggest part of his game, or at least one of the biggest parts of his game, no doubt. But at some point, it's like, all right.
yeah, you gotta get into
I mean,
shape, man.
yeah,
You gotta get into shape.
exactly.
But yeah, it's
And I love Zion, so fingers
I
crossed.
do too. But yeah, very interesting. So here's a question for you. If you were choosing the MVP of the NBA right now, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a really good question. Damn.
I like
Uh,
Nikola
I
Jokic
I
going
I'd
back to
probably
back.
go Jokic again. Yeah, I'd
And
probably go Jokic. Is he's so good, man. Like it's unbelievable.
Jokic, it's another battle between Jokic and Curry, like kind of like almost like last year.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah,
There are guys kind of formulating too. I think Giannis and Durant are going to find himself behind there. Hopefully, DeRozan keeps it up. I mean, I don't think DeRozan's a legit MVP candidate, but he sure as hell is a lot closer than anyone thought he was going to be. Definitely, he's a top points per game leaders. I mean, we'll see how
well,
it progresses, but it's probably going to be the same around about the same ballot as last year.
yeah,
No huge surprises on the ballot, I'd say.
yeah. So yeah, do you have anything extra you'd like to just bring up out of just whatever you want to say? Um,
Not really, no.
yeah,
It's
fair
been
enough.
kind of a slow week. I'm gonna be honest. It's
Yeah,
compared to like last week, we had just a lot to recap. But here it's been like kind of waiting for the next stuff.
yeah. So yeah, that's this has been a short episode, but like, hey, it was good. I mean, we're not taking up too much of your
Sometimes,
time.
yeah, you need some short ones. Sometimes you gotta parcel them out.
Yeah,
Gotta diversify.
you know, but oh boy, I'm looking forward to this football game coming up. Man, the timeline is going. If the Cowboys lose, I'm just never turning up Twitter. Like Twitter, I'm done. I'm deleting Twitter if they lose. Probably, I won't. But like,
You might have to mute Diggs and PFF.
oh yep. I'm gonna have to mute PFF for sure. But
Yeah,
oh god. But yeah. That's a
it's gonna be a fun slate for
fun.
football this week, which is
Yep.
nice.
Um.
Probably more fun than it was last week.
Good luck to the Bears. In
Good luck
Lambeau.
to the Cowboys. Bears need way more than the Cowboys, though. Bears
Uh.
gonna get slaughtered.
Yeah. Oh, okay. In that regard, then yeah, I was about to be like, wait, hold up. Like we're playing for the postseason here. But yeah, I got
Nah,
what you
man,
meant
you
after
guys
you
got
said
it.
that. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, hoping for a successful victory against Washington in there. Um, Dak is 7-1 against them in his career. Honestly, dude, I
oh
am
yeah, he
more
owns
I
them.
am more afraid of the FedEx Field shitty field conditions, like ending one of our guys' seasons, than I am losing the game. Which
That'd be a
that's
shame.
that's not an
Yeah,
insult to
this is
Washington.
the worst part when
That's
you have
not
to like go down the home stretch like that. Yeah,
that's not an insult to like Washington either. That's just how shitty the field is, and like their own fans even acknowledge it. Like it's crazy.
yeah,
Um,
man, it was yeah. It's been a disaster all year.
but yeah, I guess that's it for that one. It's been fun recording all these episodes with you and Link and some of the guests that we've had in.
Yeah,
Um,
likewise.
so
It's been a
yeah,
blast.
we wish all of you guys a good day, a good night, a good whatever you're having. See ya.
Thank you.